It's a bit of a ritual, making coffee. We're all creatures of habit. These days I drink decaf. My 21-year-old daughter, Dayla, she gave me this. She bought it back from Austria. It's my favourite cup. And it's just a cup, but I attach myself to it because it's got meaning, because it's from my daughter. This is my old aluminium percolator. My daughter said, "Don't use aluminium, Dad. It can give you Alzheimer's." So I've gone to the stainless one. I've been working hard today. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and this is my treat. It's decaf, but my brain can't really tell the difference. When the pressure builds, that thing there blows steam out like a train. There she goes. Heaps. It's so cool. It's like a steam engine. Nice coffee. Oh, that smells so good. Damn, that smells good. I'd like to show you guys something really cute. This is quite extraordinary, actually. That's a wild duck over there, and she's got all the babies, and they're on the dog dish. She's come over to get the duck feed and the chicken feed. They're just parking up, quite chill, really close to me. How cool is that? It's an old Bedford Kelk. It's been a house truck I've had for like 20 years. Before we built the hut for young guys to get back on their feet, we used this, and they used to stay in it. It's got 2 lofts, one up that ladder there, and one there. You can hear the starlings have made it their home up in here somewhere. Welcome, brothers, and the occasional sister. Whew, been a long day. I've been working on the houseboat, painting and scrubbing, and also just coordinating stuff. I really need this coffee. It's something that I just look forward to. We all need something that's just a little gift for ourselves, a wee treat. I like to discipline myself and wait till I've done my work before I have my treat. The surest way to make your existence in this life better is to impose upon yourself self-discipline. If you don't do that, then it can lead to procrastination and you just not fulfilling the things you really want to do. So the rule is, go hard first and then it's easier later on. If you try to live an easy life and cheat, you try to take the shortcut all the time, whether it's lying to somebody or not doing your share of the work. There's a thing in nature, some people call it karma, but I just call it balance. Everything tries to find its own way. If you tell lies and you manipulate situations, then you stretch the fabric of reality, and the fabric of reality, it stretches out and then it pings back on you and you come unstuck. You see it all the time. People go, "Why is my life going like this? What did I do wrong?" Well, you need to think about it. There was something that happened. Yes, there is such a thing as bad luck, but a lot of the time it's our own making and we don't realise it. And the crazy thing about it is, if we don't realise it, then we're destined to repeat it. And I sure as hell have made that mistake myself, particularly with things like diet, putting the wrong food in my mouth over the years. Now we're on the decaf coffee. And you know what? I can't really tell the difference. Tomorrow I'm taking out 3 teen young boys, maybe 4, and we'll be taking them into the forestry, getting up super early in the morning to take them hunting. Because hunting's a really good place. Well, going hunting, you find yourself in a really good place where you're moving forward all the time. And particularly young guys that suffer from anxiety, this is a really good thing for anxiety, to be moving forward. So you're not stagnating or stagnant in one place, you're actually moving forward, and it gives a feeling of, I'm moving forward with my life, I'm getting out of the situation. So if you are a person that's struggling with anxiety, go for a run, go for a walk, change the pattern, get up, and you can break it. A lot of people have anxiety. I'm becoming more and more aware of the people around me that have it. I've got a brother that has it, and he came here and he said working on the farm and doing the garden really helped him with that. So getting out and just being active and getting sunlight and moving is a good thing, it's a good start. It's a good place to try to get yourself away from your thoughts and just get into actual something that's real, because most of what's going on inside your head is just made up stories anyway. It's just things that you think are going to happen or might happen, but they never do. I remember we used to have a Prime Minister in New Zealand called Robert Muldoon. He was National Party. Piggy Muldoon. He had a thing on his cheek on one side. I've actually got one too, where I've got a scar there. But he used to say some cool stuff. And one of the things he said was 90% of the time, the things you're worried about happening to you never happen, and the other 10% of the time when they actually do happen, they're never as bad as you thought they were going to be. And he talked about this when he got cancer. And he died of cancer. Well, we've all got to die of something. Everything's got to die of something. Dying's not the hard bit. It's getting the living right and making the most. So if you are going hunting tomorrow, remember the rule. If you make the kill, it comes off the hill. Doesn't matter if it's tiny, small, whatever it is. If you're hunting with dogs, your dogs kill it, then make sure that you take it off the hill, because it's still a protein source. Even if it's something you're just going to feed your chickens or feed your cat or your dog, don't leave meat on the hill, because it's a life that you've taken. It's a sentient being that's running around, feeling the sun on its back and enjoying life just like you and I enjoy life, and you've taken that from it. And that's okay, you've made that decision to do that, but don't waste it, because it's a waste of life. Although having said that, some of you might argue, and rightfully so, that if you leave an animal on the hill, it's food for something else. And I would actually agree with that too. And you know, pigs will actually eat pigs. If you kill a pig, I can remember years ago when I was a culler. I was a pig and goat culler. I wasn't culling pigs. Well, that's not true. There was a farmer that used to call me up, and I had to kill everything. That was the rule. And that meant doing a search and destroy, because the pigs were rooting up his paddock. And I used to take all of those pigs away. But we got this big sow. And I used to hunt with this Maori guy, and he was, what was his name, Willie? Willie. Some fond memories there. Boy, that guy he could tell some stories, and he could cook a good kai. And he taught me a lot of stuff, actually. Taught me how to lay a hangi. And Willie and I got this big pig, really big pig. And she'd had her piglets, and she was not in pig, and she was fat. And we left her on the side of the hill, went down the gully to get our possum, with some possum lines. We went down a trek to get there, and when we got back up the top of the hill, we'd only been away for 2 hours, about 3 pigs, all about 20 or 30 pounds, had come up and had eaten her whole gut, all the fat off it and all the flaps, and they were starting to get into the good meat. Pigs are cannibals. Who would have thought, eh? Anyway, look after your mental health as you go along, brothers, and that means just be as proactive looking after that as you can look after your physical health, your financial health, and your spiritual health. Look after your mental health, because it's so important, and it's easy to do things, and it's easy to take the easy road. It's more important to take the road less travelled sometimes. It's easy just to do what's the path of least resistance, but I've talked about this before. If you always do the easy thing and take the easy way out, then you're not going to go straight to what you want. Think of it like a river. Water will always take the path of least resistance. And rivers, they don't go in a straight line to the sea. They go all over the place, over the mountains and around the valleys and the lowest point, and then they get stuck there and they build up and they create a dam, and then you have a waterfall, they fall down, and eventually they get to the sea. And if you see them, they're like this. If you want to get to a point in your life, you don't want to be like the river going everywhere, taking the path of least resistance. You want to go straight from point A to point B in a straight line and mow through all the stuff. That's by focusing and always doing the hard yards. You might have fun being like a river cruising and getting there, but it's going to take you forever, and your dreams may not ever come true, because we only have a limited amount of time of being alive in this life. So remember that. Remember that every day could be your last. Every day could be your last day. You never know when your time's up. And some of you might be thinking your time is close to being up, and you might last a bit longer than you thought, while there's others of you there that may be thinking got more time and tomorrow you could be dead. This was a place one of the young fellas I used to look after for a long time, young Smash. He died at 17. I started looking after him at 13. That's the reason I started the Broadsheet Club, in his honour, and I felt so helpless that I couldn't do anything. I thought, well, I'll make a channel for men's mental health, and maybe just in some small way, even if it helps one other person like Smash get through the hard patches in this life, then maybe it'll be all worth it. And it all comes down to communicating how you're feeling, because one sure as hell thing, if you're feeling really bad right now and you're watching this, I'll tell you right now, it'll pass. A crisis always passes. Look at history. Look at our lives. Look at all the things in the past you've overcome. You'll overcome again. So if you're really in a bad place right now, and I mean really in a bad place, if you had really dark thoughts, remember, it will pass. Everything passes. Everything carries on. Nothing stays still. You cannot stay and will not stay in that bad place forever. And whilst it might seem like there's something going on in your life that you can never fix and it's always going to be bad and you can't undo it, sure. But you'll feel better about it and you will learn to manage it. A lot of things that we come across in our life, they give us this sort of false idea that life is going to be good all the time, but it's not. We see stories on television and we watch movies with happy endings, but sometimes life doesn't have a happy ending. Sometimes it just is, for no apparent reason. I've lost people I love for just no reason at all. And the thing is, you have to go through that grieving process of losing them, but then you have to move forward and life carries on. And it's the same for you. If you're going through a real tough patch right now, you might be grieving. Maybe you've lost something that's personal to yourself. It might not be a person. It could be a bodily function. You might have lost your arm. You might have lost your sexual function. You might have lost an eye or an ear, or you might be sitting listening to me in a wheelchair right now. But it's really up to you and nobody else how you're going to make that into something that's not going to bring you down, how you're going to take control and be responsible. No one else is going to help you. You're in this one alone as far as that goes. And you've got to live in your own skin. So what other people think about you is not your business. It doesn't matter. It's not important. It's completely irrelevant, because you're the one that's going to live in your skin with the thoughts you have. And I've talked about this before. There's 3 causations to disease. One of them is what we ingest. And that could be when you're a baby in the womb. It could be something your mother's having. She could be drinking alcohol, or it could be something she's inhaling, or something that was toxin. So as a baby you could ingest something poison without knowing it. The second one is traumatic experiences that happen to you. Traumatic experiences that happened years ago can affect your health today. And the only way to address those traumatic experiences is to get to the subconscious of yourself. And that might mean doing something like emotional freedom technique or hypnosis, or seeing someone who's professional and sorting it out. But one of the things that I have seen really help a lot of young men is just sitting in a group sharing. And you soon find out very quickly you're not alone. You're not alone in this. There's brothers out there just like you that have their mountain to climb. So this is really important to seek out. So if you're someone who's struggling with, say, drug addiction, join up with NA, Narcotics Anonymous. That will be so good for you. You'll meet other people that have drug addictions. If you have a problem with gambling, get with a bunch of people that have the same problem. And there is a Gambling Anonymous. I'm pretty sure there is something like that. I've never been to one, but I'm pretty sure there is. And if there is, can you put below where it is in New Zealand? If any of you know that. I've had problems with gambling when I was younger, and it was just something I sorted out myself, but that was hard. If you have a problem with being an alcoholic, Alcoholics Anonymous is so important. And the people you go there, they're people just like you and me. There's judges and doctors and lawyers and panel beaters and drain layers and street cleaners and YouTubers and musicians and fishermen and everybody. Anybody can be addicted to something. Anybody can have an addictive personality. No one's immune to not having those problems. So this is where you need to get that support from people, brothers and sisters around you. Reach out and become part of something so you realise you're not just the only person struggling and suffering alone. And the big thing you have to do is you have to learn to give up the cause of your suffering. A lot of people hang on to things that cause them pain. There's a very old saying. It's a saying that comes from, I believe, Tibet. An old Buddhist saying. Man is prepared to fight and die for the cause, but not give up the cause of his suffering. So the things that are causing you pain, you have to give them up. For me, well, for my pain, I had bad physical pain. I had chest pain. I had angina 18 months ago. I couldn't walk 100 metres up the hill without having to squirt lingual nitrate down my lungs to create vasal dilation, because the nitric oxide would open it up, and I couldn't even go 100 metres. And I had to give up the causation, which was the food I was eating, and I hate it. And it was horrible, and I grieved it, and I missed it, and I miss it today still. But I love sitting here without any pain, talking to you. And having done a whole day of hard physical labour, I'm physically exhausted. And I'll rest tonight, and I'll go pig hunting tomorrow, and I'll go pig hunting on Sunday if the weather lets me. And I can do that again. So giving up what was causing me the suffering and the pain, I now got a life back. And you can do the same with anything. It could be someone that you love that you've just got to let go. It could be some food you're putting in your mouth. It could be that you've got a sleep problem. If you've got a sleep problem, you might have to consider giving up all caffeine, because remember, a cup of coffee, and even this decaffeinated, has a small amount of caffeine. But if you drink a coffee in the morning, you've still got 25% of it in your body when you go to sleep that night. That'll keep you awake. Maybe that you've got to give up your electrical device before you go to bed, like at 7 o'clock, so you're not getting that light in your eyes. If you're struggling with obesity and you've got joint problems, particularly joint problems, then you seriously need to lose weight, and you know that. And the only way to do that is to give up some things that you might like. And in doing so, your weight will come down, you'll have a nice trim waist, and your joints will love you for it, your body will love you for it, your heart will love you for it. You'll not only live longer, but the people that love you will get to experience you more, and you'll also feel good about yourself. But that takes what I said before, enforcing upon yourself discipline. So remember, the surest way to make your existence here on this planet better is to impose upon yourself discipline every day. And it would start off with getting up in the morning, the simplest thing, making your bed. And then doing your workout, or what it is you're doing for your body, or maybe it might be for your meditation. But not just picking up your phone and falling into just looking at somebody else's life, escaping from your responsibility of yourself. You get up in the morning and you take responsibility for you. And make it a fucking great day, man. Don't just make it a day, make it an awesome day. A spectacular day. Do things you've never done before. Talk to people you've never talked before. And you'll be sweet as, bro. Now I'm going to scoff this down and get back down the boat. I've got a bit more painting to do before the sun goes down, and I've got an early start in the morning. Check on a brother. Check on yourself. And please consider jumping on my Patreon so we can keep on running the truck and taking the boys out and doing it. It costs a lot. It doesn't make any money, that's for sure. It costs a lot. Road user miles, gas, breakdowns, permits, equipment, gear. The list goes on and on. You guys not hunting will know. Way cheaper to go to the shop and buy a tray of pork chops than to take dogs in the bush pig hunting. But for me, it's all about getting those young guys out in the hill and freeing up their minds and teaching them a better way to live. Go steady, and I'll catch you in the next Broadcheck Club video. See you later. I am tired, but I'm good.